Yo, this is Big Jake. Hey, reporting live. Hey, this is about to be a remake of the Kickboxing Boy. So sit back and enjoy. And so, once there was a boy named Elliot McDiva. He's half black, half white. He moved. He moved to. He's a boy who wanted to be a kickboxer someday, but his mom is against it. Because of what happened to her in the past. So, oh, one t- one day he moved from Canada to Tennessee. He and start. He went to school that had a kickboxing club. And he's thinking about joining it, but his mom was against it. Instead, and always wanted to treat him like a baby. And so, one day, Elliot was going to school. It was his first day, but then a bully was picking on him. The bully was Mexican. But a lot of black kids standed in and defended Elliot from the Mexican kid, and Elliot made new friends with them. After a few days, Elliot decided he was going to try out for the kickboxing club. So his new black friends trained him and helped him out a little. Thanks to the help of and the support of his new friends, he was ready. So he went in. Tried out for the kickboxing club, and wound up beating up the bully and making the team. The bully was so outraged that he just quit the school. And went to another school that had a kickboxing club. Elliot didn't let his mom know about it because his mom was against it. One time, when Elliot was training himself, his father asked him to help clean out the garage a little, and then he was able to find a photo. Then Elliot was able to find a photo album. He looked through the pictures and saw that he had a brother. So he looks up on the internet trying to find out where his brother is, and he found out he was somewhere in Tennessee, living in the big city. So, he keeps looking, and he finds out where his brother lives, and he goes off to see his brother. So, looking around his whole apartment, he finds out that his brother was actually a champion kickboxer in high school. But his brother now works in a construction company. And so, with that, Elliot asks his brother if he could train him a whole lot more, but his brother refuses. Says and sends him on his way. So Elliot kept training by himself and everything. And then all of a sudden, Elliot finds out his brother was in trouble for fighting in a bar. And so, Elliot goes down to the police station and helps out his brother. And so, after helping out, the brother decides he was going to train him. So, the brother takes Elliot to to a secret place where they could train in peace. And where and they began training. They started lifting weights. It's training real hard. They started lifting weights, started kicking and punching, practicing, just singing everything, just getting better and better and better. And with that practice, Elliot won every single match that that was put in front of him during his whole daring and the whole time his brother was training him. Elliot won every match. But the vice principal that was like against Elliot and did not like him at all, he was outraged. The vice principal wanted to do something about Elliot to stop his progress. The vice principal tries every trick in the playbook, try to pull pranks on Elliot by setting bear traps, absent mouse traps and everything, but none of them work. Instead, he gets caught. The evil vice principal gets caught in them himself. And so, with that, Elliot kept training, and the big brother kept training him. They started getting closer and closer, like brothers should be. And so, Elliot tells him, Thanksgiving is near, so why don't you come and join us for Thanksgiving dinner? Elliot asked his brother, but his brother said he couldn't. Mom and I are not close, Elliot, so thank you for trying to include me, but I'd just rather have Thanksgiving myself. Elliot looks like looking really sad underneath, but with a lot of courage he was able to say okay. But hey, after that day of training, his brother went to the bar, started drinking and stuff. But unknown to the brother, the vice principal was dressed as one of the bartenders and put some kind of drug in Elliot's brother's drink that made Elliot's brother go really crazy and started hitting everyone with wine glasses and everything. It was like crazy. Then, all of a sudden, the police tranquilizes the brother and puts him in handcuffs and carries him off to jail. Elliot arrived at the gym after school to find out that his brother wasn't there, but he still went on with training and stuff, making himself stronger and everything. And after that day of training, Elliot heads home, and then his parents come and tell him to sit on down with him in the living room. And guess who was there? The vice principal. And says, Principal. Well, Elliot looks at with wide eyes in surprise. Because Elliot sits down and his mom asks him, is it true you've been doing kickboxing behind our backs? Elliot looks at her in an angry face and says, yeah. What? Because You, because you wasn't just. If I had told you, you would have been against it and yelling at me. Elliot was just like angry, and so the vice the vice principal explained the story about the brother to him and his parents and his sister. By the, by the way, Elliot's 11 years old, and and so and so you see, he your brother got really out of control and everything, and so they had to take him to jail. The vice principal looked at Elliot with an evil smile and an evil look. And so Elliot yelled at him and said, what did you do? Ooh, I didn't do anything. That's a lie and we both know it. But if my brother's not coaching me, then I quit the school. I quit you until you. Elliot was yelling and outraged, but the mom yells, be quiet, quiet. No, and Elliot says, no, Mom, I will not be quiet. You be quiet. As a matter of fact, shut your mouth. What has gotten into you, Elliot? But what's gotten into me, Mom, is that you don't support me, screams Elliot. You don't support anything I do. The father yells, calm down. And so, oh, the high strength. Look, Mom, Elliot says, look, Mom, I have to do this because I'm good at it. My brother is someone who actually believes in me and everything. Well, I'm someone who believes in you, says the dad. Your mom is someone who believes in you. No, she's not. She always thinks I'm gonna fail. Like I'm gonna get hurt. Like she always has to come to my rescue and treat me like a baby. That ain't right. Right. Well, then, said the vice principal, we're going to do it like this. I'm going to let you compete in your in the kickboxing match against the next school. Oh, but if you lose that match, you're never allowed to kickbox again after this. It's again. But if you win, you can continue to kickbox. Fine, I'll do it. But I'm gonna do it in my brother's honor. Honor. He was my coach, so I'm gonna honor him. But the truth is, he never should have been your coach in the first place. He was because he got drunk. He wasn't doing his. He did his. He was getting better, and he knows more about kickboxing just as much as my coach back at the school. All right, you know what? This conversation's over. I'm through talking about this. I'm done with this because this is wrong. This is so freaking wrong. And Mom, I'm through acting like a wimp just to make stuck up stupid ladies like you look good. Elliot stormed out of the house to calm down a little. Elliot's mom, after a while, came outside and told him the story about the grandfather and his brother. One time, this was the story. One time, Elliot we were at a we were at Las Vegas. Vegas. Your grandfather was a kickboxer, and your brother was following his footsteps. So one time, Elliot, your 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 grandfather and your brother were just having fun, playing in the arcades, doing everything they want in Las Vegas. Until all of a sudden there was a shooting in Las Vegas. Guess they they were aiming for the gunman was aiming for your brother and was aiming for your brother, but the grandfather jumped in the way of the bullet, and it went right through his chest, through his heart. He was killed instantly. Your grandfather was dead, and and the the gunman never got caught. And so ever since then, I've been bitter with kickboxers. It just reminded me, honey, about what happened to my father. Just scary thoughts. Elliot gives her a big hug and says sorry to her. And the mother says sorry right back and says this: from now on, I will support you in kickboxing. So go kickbox. Leave your brother to me. And so one morning, the next morning, Elliot's mother goes up to the jail and bails out the brother. And so the mother says sorry to him because the mother blamed the brother for her father's death. And so the brother says it's okay and goes to be there for his brother, Elliot. And so back in the back dressing room, the vice principal was saying to the bully that was bullying Elliot back at Elliot's school. He went to another school. Well, there's now a champion kickboxer there. And so the vice principal says to the bully, defeat Elliot and prevent him from kickboxing, and I will give you $5 million. And so the bully agrees that wasn't an offer that he couldn't pass up. And so the teacher put some kind of zapping thing in Elliot's put some sort of zapping thing in Elliot's gloves. The match began, and every time Elliot was about to throw a punch, he got zapped real bad and everything. And the bully was able to just kept punching him. That whole thing lasted through all 2 rounds, until the big sister came up and told Elliot to take the gloves off. Lost real quick. And she found out the zapping things that were in there. There, they were able to take. The sister secretly takes them out of the glove, and puts them back on Elliot. Then the brother comes back down and gives Elliot pointers of how to get a knockout and knock him down for 10 seconds. And so the match begins at the third round, and Elliot was able to go off on him, punches him in the face, punches him in the gut, punches him in the jaw, kicks him low, kicks him in the gut, everywhere. Elliot just went off, and the vice principal was pressing the button, and nothing was happening. And so, Elliot does his final punch move, kickboxing move. He kicks him in the gut, and then boom, spins and uppercuts him. The bully goes up into the air and hits the canvas. The bully wasn't getting up until 10 seconds. Elliot ends up winning the whole thing, and the vice principal was outraged. How could you lose this? I wasn't going to give you $5 million anyway. Wait, I was bluffing about it. But no worries. I'll have Elliot off kickboxing championships at this school in no time. Unknown to the vice principal, the big sister was recording him, and it was on live TV. So, as the vice principal went back in, everyone in the audience and Elliot was looking at him crazy like this. And the vice principal was like, what is everybody looking at? They point at the screen, and it was playing what the vice principal was saying to the bully. The vice principal was in shock. Oh boy. And then the head principal goes right up to the vice principal and says, Vice principal, you're fired. The vice principal was outraged and pulls out a machete and about to stab Elliot to death. But then Elliot's sister kicks him in the gut, and Elliot gets him with a right hook and an uppercut and knocks him down. And then the bully jumps off the turnbuckle and does a modified version of the people's elbow on him. The vice principal gets arrested and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And so, with that, Elliot was the champion of the middle school. And so Elliot made lots of new friends, black and white. He made lots of new friends that were black and white, and the bully that was Mexican was also his best friend now. Because they came back to the school and they now kickboxing train together. And so, oh, there was also a girl at that school who likes Elliot, but Elliot will get around to knowing that eventually. And that, my friends, is the story of the kickboxing boy. The end. Hit subscribe if you want to hear more stories and more songs. This is Big Jake signing off. Peace out.